So, liebe Leute, herzlich willkommen zum schlechtesten, besten Spiel der Welt in absoluten, ultimativen Triple-B-Spiel. Deadly Premonition Origins Part 2. Leider habe ich meine wunderbare, tolle Ansagerin, die Frau Mahler, nicht im Discord anwesend. Deswegen muss ich das wieder selber vornehmen. Ja, nun ist Maul. Die ist leider im PlayStation-Chat aktiv. So, starten wir mal. Profile. Wir aufnehmen bis Episode 1. Bester Tag, den wir im Hut haben. Wir haben 880 Dollar verdient. Spielzeit 45 Minuten, also nicht so lang. Könnt ihr.
Previously during the investigation, these puppies are making me go to another town in the boondocks again.
I didn't think you'd keep me waiting in the rain for so long.
Welcome to Greenwood.
I'm the sheriff, George Woodman. Call me George.
There's definitely something in this town. Do you feel it, Zach? My coffee warned me about it.
Kaffee hat mich davor gefahren. So geil, der Typ. Oh, ist schade, Julis, du müsstest dir echt mal Dinge angucken. Hier, Twin Peaks. Das ist am Anfang ein bisschen zäh, aber das ist eine richtig gute Serie. Agent Morgan. Weiter geht's. Erstmal da gucken, gleich wieder rennen hier. Happy Libby, aber happy. Wie war das wieder? Muss ich auch wieder essen in dem Spiel? Ja. Weiter geht's.
A police car. So we have King George to thank for preparing a car for me. A pleasant surprise, eh, Zach? Let's take it for a spin. I have to tell you, Zach, this place simply amazes me. The keys were left on the front hood, and nobody stole the car. Values. This town has what the country needs. Values. Let's head over to the sheriff's department.
Oh Gott, ne. Oh, ich hoffe, das ist nicht zu lang mit der blöden Karte wieder. Also, wo ist die Karte? Ne, halt. So links. Oh, war das anstrengend. Halt. Ne? Nee. Einsteigen.
Zach, is there something here that you want to check out? We're supposed to go through Anna Graham's file at the sheriff's office, but if you want to act on a hunch, then I'm with you.
Alter, ist das schlecht. Oh Gott. Vor allem der Witz ist ja, man kann ja nicht mal abkürzen, oder? Oder konnte man abkürzen? Ne, ging nicht, genau. Diese ewig langen Autofahrten mit 50 Meilen pro Stunde.
So, Zach, about those bonus features in DVDs nowadays.
You know, the ones from the 80s have almost no bonus material. Even if they do, it's a trailer and the visual quality is pretty bad. Well, that visual quality is a good reminder of those days. So many new audio and visual appliances were coming out back then. Do you remember the first video deck we bought? We bought it to record one of the Star Wars movies on TV. And remember when that video store opened, we spent hours there, just trying to find a good movie to rent. There weren't that many to choose from back then. Remember renting some really bad ones after reading those back cover taglines. Hey, remember? Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, filmed in 1978. Produced, directed, written, and edited by John DeBello. It was really awful, but for some reason I still remember it pretty well. It had so many sequels, and the original was re-released in '95. The 87-minute...
Oh, Zach, we're here. Let's continue our chat later. That's one fine building for such a small town. The exterior woodwork is spectacular. Don't you agree, Zach?
Pleasure to meet you, Agent Morgan. We've been expecting you. I'm Thomas McLean, the sheriff's assistant.
FBI Special Agent Francis York Morgan. Please just call me York. It's what everyone else calls me.
Very well then, Agent York.
I believe I owe you a thank you for retrieving my belongings from my car. Thanks.
Oh, no, just doing my job. I want to help do everything I can to help the investigation. I just can't believe Anna was murdered. She was such a bright and lovely girl.
Did you know her well?
Well, no, not really. But it's a very small town. I'm sorry. It's just that this is the first really big case I've ever seen.
I understand. Just try to relax. Can I have a look at Anna's file now?
Yes, of course. The sheriff told me to let you through to the meeting room, but I've lost the key to the cabinet where the files are. Why don't you take a look around while I go look for it?
Okay. Let me know when things are ready.
Zach, Thomas appears to be the kind and sensitive type, totally at odds with the monarch. Almost a good setting for a cartoon.
Ach je, so, was macht er jetzt da? Er sucht jetzt, ne? Nope. Mit einem südlichen Kleidhörnchen. Oh, Johann, das war dann schon wieder Jahre. Mal durch hier. Ach genau, ich kann mich noch daran erinnern, dass es irgendwie Hunde ging. Gab es da nicht mehrere Schlüssel? Waren das noch? Okay, wie die Türen alle ein Holzknacksgeräusch machen. Ich wollte gerade sagen, wo ist niemand ist. Kann man einfach in der Zelle schlafen. Auch nicht schlecht. Schlüssel südliches Gleithörnchen. Erstmal rasieren in der Küche. Oh Mann. Bin ja noch in The Voice.
Zach, there's a name written on this dumbbell. Arnold. I haven't met anyone by that name yet. Could it be the owner of this dumbbell? What do you think, Zach?
You found the key.
That's the right one?
Yes, a southern flying squirrel. Thank you so much.
Marco,
I'll
du
bring the
Depp!
files right in, so
Und das mal heute hier im
please go to the
Stream.
meeting room.
Danke.
Gerne.
Okay, I'll be waiting for you.
Well, Zach, we just got here and we've cracked a big case already.
The victim's name was Anna Graham. Age
C'est pour cette
18,
PlayStation.
she just recently graduated from
Oh, yeah,
high school this
PlayStation.
year. Her dream was to move out to the city and become a model. But for the time being, she was working in the A&G diner here in town. She lived with her mother, Sally. Anna's father died in an accident in the lumber mill when she was a child.
Ich soll an mir, ich bin schon die ganze Zeit drin, bin noch nichts am Zip.
Her mother is unemployed and lives on the insurance money from her husband's accident.
Lass mal überlegen.
After all, it's a small town with a low cost of living. Financially, they seem to get by fine, and they led normal lives.
A normal life is exactly what a curious teenager doesn't want.
Achso, dann liegt es wahrscheinlich noch im Headset.
It's all starting to
Jetzt,
make
wo ich
sense,
beide
Zach.
drin hab.
City folk, huh? No, I take that back. All of them can't be as bad as him. And some should have better manners.
Huh.
This is a good biscuit. I've never tasted a biscuit this delicious.
Where in town can I get these?
Well, actually, I baked them myself.
Ich spiele Switch.
That's amazing. What are you doing in law enforcement? I'm very particular about biscuits, I'll have you know. The balance of milk and butter you've achieved here. Oh, my.
Agent Morgan,
No.
the autopsy's ready. You are welcome to
Nee,
accompany me to the
mach out
Goodale
keinen
General
Rocket League mehr.
Hospital. Emily, you come too. Thomas, stay here and tidy up these files.
Yes, sir.
We're going to use the car outside. Let's get going. You might think this is just a small-town police investigation, but our inspections are thorough and solid. I'm hoping you won't slow us down.
Nee, ich bin jetzt auch gerade voll in meinem Spiel drin, deswegen ich mache jetzt auch nichts anderes. Ich konnte eigentlich auch aus sämtlichen Partys rausgehen, weil irgendwie brauche ich hier immer eine. Nee, weiß schon, dass du nicht viel sagst. Ich meine, man hört dich ja sowieso nicht. Deswegen bin ich ja im Discord noch zusätzlich.
The Greenvale General Hospital is down the road by the lake.
Hier
It's
auch
too
ein
far
anderer
to
Voice.
walk. Come on, get in the car.
Achso, ja,
If I'm riding in a car,
Sorry,
George, I
Jonas.
prefer to be the driver.
mach's gut.
Can you provide a car for me?
What are you talking about? You don't even know how to get there.
Which is another good reason for me to drive, George. I need to learn my way around town.
Oh, man. Very well. Then I'll ride with you. I want to keep an eye on you.
Fair enough.
Just one thing, Agent Morgan. Your involvement in this case is limited. That means you don't have to learn your way around town.
George, we'd better get moving. The hospital closes at 2100.
Jo, machen wir uns lieber.
Agent Morgan, get us there quickly, but drive within the speed limit. Just because you have a badge doesn't mean you can drive like a maniac.
George, what are you, his mother?
We just need to get the autopsy results.
Agent York isn't accustomed to the town yet. Give him a little slack. Well then, Agent York, let's get going.
Sure, sounds good.
Was ist los jetzt? Ist ja was zu tun.
Agent Morgan, I can't help noticing you provide important function.
Most of the time, yes.
Don't you get lonely, flying all over the country alone?
I must say I've never felt lonely.
Are you married?
Unfortunately, relationships and I are fleeting strangers. I don't get on very well with women, you might be surprised to hear.
That's because you're young. You notice things like that at my age. You have to treat women carefully, like a thin crystal wine glass. If you don't, they can cut scars on your face, just like yours, right?
George, is this an interrogation? I see you're a seasoned professional. But let's not talk about my scar. It was caused by a problematic woman.
Well, she got you good. Terribly good.
It'll fade away, and nobody will notice it.
A week? It's not that light of a wound.
So, Emily, tell me, is there really a need for a full-time sheriff in a small town like this?
I'm sure it is small to your city eyes, but any gathering of people leads to all kinds of problems. Fights, runaways, stray pets.
You're too fixated on violent criminals. Our job is to guide the people along the correct path, first and foremost. That's what I consider to be my duty as the sheriff of Greenvale.
That there he is, the monarch, in all
Jetzt kommt natürlich diese Anstrengung,
Makes me glad that I was
durchzuspielen.
here.
Did you say something, Agent Morgan?
No, nothing. I was just reflecting on a little history.
Well, we're in the middle of a homicide investigation. Keep your mind on the matter at hand.
Okay, which right now is crime. That's a pretty big hospital. Guess they wanted to be ready for town-wide food poisoning.
No, it's another leftover from the town's prosperous lumber days. Hard to imagine now, though, isn't it?
My mother always talked about how energetic this town used to be. Almost like a gold rush, she used to say.
Impressive.
But the hotter the fever, the faster it cools. And now there's hardly anyone left to eat this place.
These people watch my hometown lose so many senses. Beyond your understanding, I'm sure.
Yes, I'm sorry to say that it is.
Indeed. That's why this case is our problem. There really isn't any need for you to get too involved.
Hello, Sheriff.
Hi there, Fiona. We're here to see Usha. Do you know where he is?
I think Dr. Johnson is in the computer room.
A computer room? In a hospital?
Nice to meet you, Mr. FBI agent. The computer room is where our employees share a computer.
Very nice to meet you, too. I'm FBI Special Agent Francis York Morgan. But how did you know I was FBI?
Easy. None of the police in this town wear cologne. Besides, that scar on your face is the biggest rumor in town.
Rumors get exaggerated as they spread, even in the countryside. What's that you're reading, if I may ask?
Fernsehen.
You haven't heard of this yet? It's a recent bestseller mystery. It's set in the U.S., a small traditional North American town close to the Canadian border. A peaceful, traditional place. However, that peaceful town is shattered by a terrible crime. The murder of a local girl. And that incident causes grief and sadness to everyone in town. But everyone feels the seditious, heinous evil still lurking, alive. Yes, much like the situation right now here in Greenvale.
Fiona, don't say that.
Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. With Anna dead and all.
Don't worry. Books are written to entertain. It's good you're enjoying it. What we're faced with here is a terrible crime committed in a real world. Much different from that of a novel. So there's no need to apologize.
Thank you, Agent York.
So. 30 Yards.
We couldn't find him.
Fiona needs to check her information.
No, I don't think so. Does the doctor like playing games by any chance?
What do you mean?
There's a message on the computer, and a card key already set in place. The king passes the rook and meets the bishop. The knight takes a pawn along for the queen.
What does that all mean?
It's a simple puzzle. Zach, let's take him up on his challenge. You can do this, right?
König zieht den Turm vorbei zum Läufer. König zieht den
Zach, something is still missing. We need more clues.
König. König zieht am Turm vorbei zum Läufer. Das ist der Läufer. Ach, auf die Felder muss er. Ja.
The doctor awaits below with the deceased.
Another code? But there's nowhere to insert a password.
More games. I'm going to get Fiona to call up here right now.
No need, George. The message appeared with the card key. It's telling us where to use it.
This is not the time to be joking around, Agent Morgan.
Dr. Usha is below with the deceased. With Anna. Below being underground, I take it. Simple. Simple.
Then it's time to meet the mischievous architect of this little game.
Nah.
So. Müsste mal was zu mir denn? Das hab ich ja nicht mehr. Ja, halt. Das So, mal kurz Skifahren. Jetzt mache ich vielleicht sogar noch mit. Muss jetzt nur. Ich will jetzt auf jeden Fall da noch mal kurz weiterkommen. Aber ich jetzt nicht weiß, wo es hingeht, aber kann nur da reingehen. Ah, ich weiß nicht, das Spiel ist so beschissen, aber trotzdem fasziniert mich das immer wieder. Das größte Güllspiel überhaupt, aber.
Usha, Sorry to keep you waiting.
Ah, you made it. Let's get started, shall we?
This is Agent Morgan from the FBI.
Nice to meet you. I'm Usher Johnson, the doctor in this hospital.
FBI Special Agent Francis York Morgan. Please call me York. Everyone calls me that.
Yeah.
Very well, Agent York.
Are you a forensic practitioner?
Let's just say I've dealt with corpses before.
That battle of wits, by the way. Did you create that yourself?
I just wanted to see if our FBI agent could handle the task.
I see. Well, it was pretty fun.
Oh, I'm glad you liked it.
We don't have much time. We need those autopsy results.
Next time, try challenging us without obstructing an investigation. You've angered the monarch.
From the onset of rigor mortis, the stiffening of the muscles, the time of death is estimated to be between 20 and 2200 hours. That's still quite early for such a crime to take place. Note that there are 2 exterior wounds, pressure marks around the neck, and a long cut running from chest to abdomen. Blood marks on her right hand tell us she was gripping something round in her right hand. Her skull is also fractured, but that is unrelated to the cause of death. It probably happened to her after she was killed. Now, I first thought death by suffocation, due to the marks on her neck. But after further investigation, I now have a different conclusion. The direct cause of death was loss of blood from the wound.
Which means...
She was cut up while she was still alive.
Yes, a sharp knife was used. It was inserted beneath the sternum and then quickly sliced downwards. The excessive loss of blood from her internal organs is what actually killed her. Her nails are clean, and with no skin cells from the attacker. She also doesn't appear to have been bound nor badly beaten. She was apparently killed without resistance. The most tragic thing, however, was that she was unable to speak her story to anyone who could hear her cries.
The perpetrator cut out Anna's tongue.
Well, I believe she was drugged first to phase her consciousness, and then the killer killed her. Now, the killer most likely has a deep, traumatized past concerning women. He probably cannot converse with them normally. Cutting out the tongue suggests a very lonely individual. Either that or a truly hardcore sadist. He must get off on watching women suffer, especially when they can't answer back. Now, he watched as the blood pumped from her body, as she gradually grew cold. Now, a case in Seattle in 1985 was much like...
Usher, please, limit your report to your findings as a doctor. Criminal profiling is my job. You're wrong, also. Anna died fully, deeply, painfully aware of what was happening to her.
But,
Tell me, what time did it stop raining on the night Anna was killed?
Just before I went to bed, right after the movie on TV ended, so around 1 a.m.
What movie was it?
An American Werewolf in London.
Directed by John Landis, 1981. So the rain stopped, accompanied by the ending song, Blue Moon. George, would you mind if I examined Anna myself?
What more do you hope to find?
I'm sure I mentioned I have a personal interest in cases like these. From her lack of resistance, I'd say that Anna's injuries happened very quickly. Unable to speak, she was then left to cry herself to death.
Zach, it's all starting to come together.
The perpetrator stayed with her for at least 2 hours until it stopped raining. At the estimated time of her death, it was still raining, but you can still see tear marks on her cheeks. That means she was killed under a roof somewhere. She was then carried into the woods after it stopped raining.
There's one other thing. Her tongue was removed with a very blunt knife. In fact, it's more likely it was simply chopped off.
Asha, are you a passionate man?
Well, not particularly, but I am man enough should the moment call for it.
George, how about you?
I'm very passionate. Yes. Especially when it comes to women. But I don't see what that has to do with anything.
George, the perpetrator is just like you. He's passionate about
What
women.
am I on it?
He's a passionate kisser. This was a kiss of death.
The perpetrator bit off Anna's tongue.
We'll never get a dental print from a wound like this. But this is still a big lead.
Jackpot, Zach. A shame. Our old-time all-American sightseeing tour just came to an end.
This case is now under the jurisdiction of the FBI. I'm assuming command. I'll need you to assist me in the investigation.
What in the hell do you mean, Agent Morgan? I know I said I was passionate, but you can't think I did this.
That's not why I'm assuming command, George. You're a suspect just as much as every other passionate man on Earth. Let me show you something. There you go. Amazing, huh? I'm sure you have a lot of questions, but most of the details are top secret. George, Emily, we should be going. No need to stay here any longer.
Okay. I have to sign the release. Just give me a moment.
Very well. I'll go on ahead. I can't take it any longer down here.
Das Büro.
Bishop takes queen. His rook takes your queen. Then your knight takes rook. And checkmate.
Huh? My first victory in the Grandmaster ranking.
Zach, they're here.
Was ist denn hier? Boah, speichern. Yes, sir. Okay, ich gucke jetzt einmal ganz kurz. Nichts mehr. Okay, dann gönne ich mir das morgen. Okay, Sepp, du hast gewonnen. Ich höre auf. Obwohl ich das jetzt eigentlich echt gerne weiterspielen würde. Ich habe eigentlich ganz ehrlich gesagt gar keinen Bock auf beides von den Scheißspielen. Ich möchte jetzt lieber mein Scheißspiel eigentlich weiterspielen. Aber ich glaube, das muss ich machen, wenn ich alleine in der Party bin, weil das ist alles zu laut. Ich kann mich da gar nicht so drauf konzentrieren. Yeah. Nichtsdestotrotz. Erstmal den Stream aus. Liebe Leute, vielen Dank fürs Zugucken, auch wenn wahrscheinlich keiner zugeguckt hat. Aber ist mir egal. Wenn nicht, gucke ich es morgen alleine. Adios, Seniors.